Good evening. Good evening. Hello, Facebook. Hello again, Instagram. I know you guys are still getting the notifications of me going live. And for those of you who do not know me, and this is your very first time joining me, my name is Indiana Tullo. I am an author, I am a speaker, I am a writing coach, and I am the CEO and founder of Victory Publishing. And what I do is I help Christian authors birth their stories and turn their testimonies into books for God's glory. And I do that through my coaching programs, through my publishing programs, and also through my individual sessions that I have as well. And I also have a lot of courses that I'm developing as well for the VPC Writing Center. So be sure to check back with me as you will see when those courses become available. There is one that's already available, but I'm still adding courses to that site as well. So thank you so much for joining me. And this last month, all of July, I began Mindset Mondays to basically help the aspiring writer to answer a lot of the questions that are going on in their mind as they begin to partake on this writing journey, as they begin to accept the call to write that was given to them by God, because that story has been burning on the inside of you, and you absolutely know that you have a story that's going to help others, that's going to help transform lives and communities, but you just really don't know how to start or where to start. So that's where Mindset Mondays came from, because many of the times aspiring writers don't like to hear this, but many times those questions are nothing but excuses. They're basically excuses that the enemy is throwing at you to stop you from writing, to stop you from pursuing your dreams, to stop you from basically completing your assignment that God gave you. So that's why it's entitled Mindset Money, to help you get over that fear, to help you get over that procrastination, and to help you just really to jump into writing as God called you to do. And tonight we are talking about what story should you tell first? Because if you're like me, I have a whole lot that was going on in my short life. I'm only 41. I forget how old I was just that fast, but I'm only 41. And so, but a lot has transpired in my life from childhood and on. So how do you really decide what story to tell in your book, and how much of your story to tell? And if you should really be telling everything, kind of like a memoir, how do you really decide which story should you tell first? And this question really came about because I was on a jump start session with a client the other day, and she had this question. She was like, I have so many questions, so many stories going on. I've been through so much. I've seen so much. And she started to tell me some of the things that she's been through. And she was like, and my life could really be a Lifetime movie. I mean, I could really see it on the big screen, and this, and that, and the other. And I was just looking at her, and I asked her, I said, so what is the purpose of writing this book? Well, I want to help people. I said, when was the last time you were inspired from watching Lifetime? When was the last time Lifetime inspired you to heal, deliver, to be set free, and drew you closer to God? When did that happen? I probably didn't, because I watched Lifetime. I used to watch it a lot. I don't watch it anymore because it's just too depressing. But Lifetime has inspired me to look at my dating life, but it has not inspired me to grow closer in my walk with God. So I said that to say, not to make fun of her aspirations, but I said that so that I can help her to begin to look at really what she was saying, and really to begin to look at and to analyze why she really wants to write this book. Because many times the reasons why and the reasons that we come up in our head is really, like I said earlier, it's an excuse to continue to procrastinate, because you are really taking the blame off yourself. Because you're not writing and you don't want to write. So you're trying to put it on something else so that you don't feel guilty. Well, I can't write because I don't know what to write. So it ain't my fault. In reality, it really is your fault. Or it's because when we have these questions, it's because you're really still thinking about yourself. If you're thinking about becoming a best-selling author, becoming famous, and all of that, you really got caught up. When God told you to write a book, you got caught up. You got caught up in the fame. You got caught up in the hype. You got caught up in your mind just started going. I'm gonna be famous. I'm gonna be a best-selling author. I'm gonna turn my story into a movie. My life is gonna be on the big screen. I'm gonna be doing this and I'm gonna be doing that. And you just ran with it. And you just had all kinds of delusions of grandeur. And now that you don't know how to make it happen, you're confused and you're frustrated and you really ran out of steam. And the reality is you scared yourself, because what if it happens? What if all of that does happen? Then what? Or what if it doesn't happen? Then what? Are you going to be upset? Are you not going to continue on the writing journey? So, and then another thing is, you're saying one thing, you're saying all the right things. You're saying, I want to write my book because I want to help people. And I want to show people how great God is. That's what you're saying. But your heart is saying something else. Your heart is saying that you want the fortune and the fame and the best-selling author and be on the bestsellers list and be on the Amazon bestseller list and the New York Times bestseller list. That's what your heart is saying. So there's a conflict. And that conflict is what's causing the confusion. That conflict is what's causing you to question everything. That conflict is what's really fueling all of the questions. It's fueling everything that's running around in your head. It's fueling that, because God is not going to allow you to take what is holy. His vision for your life, his plan for your life is holy. He's not going to allow you to take that which is holy and use it for worldly gain. It's not going to happen. Will all of that happen? We don't know. You don't know. God knows. But he has to get your heart in the right place. Your heart has to be towards him. Your heart has to be for the people. And remember, this is about purpose. And purpose is not selfish. Purpose does not think about itself. Purpose thinks about how it will impact others. And God is about purpose. He's thinking about other people. He's thinking about the kingdom. Yes, it's going to benefit you greatly. Yes, it will. But you still have to keep your eyes on the kingdom. Remember, the Bible tells us in Matthew 6:33, seek ye first the kingdom. If you seek the kingdom, you wouldn't have all of this confusion going on in your mind. And so now we're going to get into really how do you really figure out what story to write? And the reason that you're asking that question, and it's an indication of three things. When someone asks me a question, I don't know what to write, I know off the bat three things are possible. Number one, they didn't consult God. Because God would never give you an assignment and not give you the instructions to complete it. He would never do that. So you're not praying, you're not fasting, you're not communicating, you have not gotten in his face and asked him, God, what is this book for? Who am I writing to, and what will it do? You have not asked him, and how do you want me to write this book? You haven't asked him that question, because if you did, you wouldn't be confused, because he would have gave you the answer. And the second thing is an indication is that you have not researched the subject matter. You haven't researched at all. You're still thinking about you. So therefore, you feel as though the story is about me. I don't have to research nothing else. It's about me. It's my life. What I need to look up anything else for? Again, that's selfish. You're still thinking about you, because had you researched your subject matter, you would know what to write, because you would know what is needed. You would know what the people need. So what does that look like? So if you have a past full of, and I'm just going to use example of my past, full of molestation, domestic violence, poor relationships, etc. If that's your subject matter, then you have to research how other people are coping with that same, who've been through those same problems. What problems are they having? What questions are they asking? What solutions are they looking for? You have to research all of that so that you'll know how you can help them. How you have to know how you came out, your strategy for coming out. How will it assist somebody else? How will you know if it can assist somebody else if you haven't researched the problem or researched the subject matter? You don't know what nobody else went through because you're still stuck on you. Are you just going to read your own book? You don't want nobody else to read it. So therefore, you have to be able to relate your story to people who have been through similar situations. So you have to research those situations, you know. And then the third thing that I know that's an indication when you ask that question is that you have not identified the problem. And in order for you to identify the problem, that kind of goes hand in hand with number two, when you're researching the subject matter, because when you're researching the subject matter, you will see what the problem is. And when you identify the problem, God can then give you the solution. He can tell you how your story will impact those people, the solution to their problem, because every vision that God gives you is the answer to somebody's prayer. And so if you don't know that, if you have not figured out, if you have not received the revelation of how you will impact those people that God appointed you to serve, then that is why you're still confused. That is why you have been unable to write this book, to get this book started, because you haven't done the research. You haven't got in the face of God, and you haven't identified the problem. I remember when God told me that plain as day. He said, when you identify the problem, I'll tell you the solution. And I had to identify the problem. Sometimes the problem is something that you're dealing with that you're hiding and you don't want anybody to know. My first book, I dealt with singleness and being unhappy being single. I didn't want anybody to know I was unhappy single. I wanted everybody to think that I was Miss Independent and I was saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost, fire baptized, and whatever. I wanted everybody to think that my world was old, peachy, and creamy. I didn't want them to know that I was unhappy and that I was miserable and that I was lonely and that I was depressed and I was angry and bitter. I didn't want nobody to know that. But in releasing that, God was able to give me the solution and show me how to walk in forgiveness, show me how to release the blame, show me how to let go and really uncover who I was in Him. Because that was the solution. Okay. So now how do when you uncover all of that, then how do you effectively craft your story so that you can provide that solution to somebody's problem? The short answer is you have to be able to craft your story in a way in which, number one, the reader can relate. Number two, the reader can be motivated. And number three, the reader can repeat your action steps. So in a lot of my coaching programs, I teach my clients the SRA method, and that stands for story, revelation, and application. And story, revelation, application. Yes, that's correct. And in that, I teach them how to craft their story. And to give you just a brief example of how that works. Tell the story that provided you the aha moment that caused you to spring into action. What was the story what happened that caused the light bulb to go off in your head and cause you to take action. Because if you haven't done anything, if you are your first test subject, if it didn't work for you, it's probably not going to work for nobody else. And you cannot tell anybody else that it doesn't work if you haven't tried it, if you haven't walked it out. So, what's the story that gave you the revelation that sprung you into action? And that is the whole simplicity of the SRA method. And you continually to repeat that chapter after chapter after chapter. And you tell the story in completion so that the reader can relate, so that you fully disclose the problem, so that they can fully understand what you were going through, so that they can see themselves in your story. And remember, as you come in on Facebook, please remember to share the broadcast with your friends. Please remember to say hello and leave me your comments as well. And so once you do that, you'll be able to outline your book. You'll be able to write out each story, because your outline is going to consist of what you found in your research. It's going to consist of the questions and the concerns that you found in your research, that many people dealing with that same problem, what they have to overcome, or what they had to overcome, or what they're still struggling with in that same predicament that you come out of. And if you still cannot dictate the process, you still cannot dictate the victory, then again, you have to get in the face of God, because God can give you the solution as you go. You can go through it as you write. You really can, because I went through it as I wrote. I obtained my healing in writing my first book. I went through the process. That's why that book took so long to write, because I had to go through the process. I had to live each and every one of those steps. I had to deal with my emotions. I had to deal with the pain. I had to basically allow God to put me in that incubator and stay. I had to stop running. So are you ready to stop running? Or do you just want to say that you want to write a book so that you can blend in with everybody else? Because a lot of people say they want to write a book, but not a lot of people are actually doing it. I don't care how many people you know on your timeline or in your friends list who actually have a book. It is only a small percentage of the population who actually writes books. So ask yourself those questions. And that's really basically all that I had for tonight. That's all I really wanted to share with you, is to let you know, I wanted to first tackle the mindset, to let you know that all of the questions are just a plan of attack from the enemy to throw you off track, to set up confusion so that you can be confused and so that you can question your assignment, And number two, if you're continuing to have those questions, it's because you're still thinking about you. You still have not grasped the full understanding of number one, who you are, and number two, what your assignment is in God. You still don't understand that. So therefore, you will not be able to move forward until you get clarity on your assignment. You can do it one step at a time, and and God works like that. He's the God of order. He will give you one step, and then as you complete it, He'll reveal the next one. But you have to submit. You really do. You have to submit to His will, meaning you have to let go of all of your expectations, all of the delusions of grandeur that you have of becoming the best-selling author, of being on being on Lifetime, your story being on Lifetime. You have to let go of all of that and submit to God's will and His plan for your life and for your story. I tell people all the time, my story belongs to God. Once I got healed, once He delivered, once He set me free, it is His business what He does with my story. I am just obedient. And that's really what you have to do. You have to take that stance. And the number three thing you have to do is, when you ask those questions, it's really an indication that you failed to, number one, consult God, you failed to identify the problem, and you failed to research your subject matter. So this book is not going to be easy. I don't care how many people you see write a book. I don't care how many people told you they wrote their book in 30 days or less. It is not going to be easy, especially when you want it to be right. When you want it to be for God's glory, it's not going to be easy. As a kingdom writer, it is not going to be easy. I am not going to lie to you. It is not easy at all. It is going to be some tears shed. It's going to be some tears shed, and as Bernie Mac said, it's going to be some furniture moving up in here, because I moved some furniture in the course of my writing. So it's going to be tough, but you can do it, and I want to help you do it. There are two ways that you can work with me that I'm going to show you on tonight. And the first of those is my book writing strategy session. And that is a session that I sit down with you for an hour and a half, and we talk about your book. We outline your book, and I give you tips on how to craft your story so that you can begin on your writing journey. And the book writing strategy session is for those who don't necessarily need help writing, but they just need help getting started, and they need help writing their outline and basically getting that structure down, because a lot of times that's the source of your frustration, is you haven't gotten that structure down and you just haven't created a flow. So that's what the book writing strategy session is for, to help you create a flow, to help you write it out step by step, chapter by chapter, what's going on, and then you can run on and complete the book on your own. In the book writing strategy session, it is only $199. And you can see that on my website as well. And my website is shown on your screen. It's at www.victorypublishingco.com, and you can just click on other services, and you can get to the book writing strategy session. Now, in addition to the strategy session, of course, I'm a writing coach. So I have writing programs, correct? So coming up in September, the Birth Your Own Book program is kicking off, and I am on a mission to help 10 authors birth their book before 2019. So you've been putting that book off all year. You've been putting it off for the last 10 years, then this program is for you so that you can finally get it done for 2019. We are not going to let another year come and go and you have not written your book. And this writing program is going to be intensive. It's going to be difficult because we got to write your book in 3 months. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be intensive. I am going to hold you accountable. I am going to encourage you along the way, but I am not going to give you fluff. I am not going to fluff it out. I'm not going to baby you. I'm not going to allow you to procrastinate. I am going to help you identify your reader. I'm going to help you outline your book, and we're going to help you craft your story. And then you're going to have weekly writing assignments, meaning you are going to be responsible for writing at least one chapter every week. And you're going to submit that to me, and I am going to review it and give you feedback as you go. Also in this program, you will have access to the Writing Center, so you can take courses at your leisure throughout the program. You can take different courses that you want to take. And then also you will have access to my private Facebook group, where you can receive feedback and encouragement from the other participants in the program, as well as encouragement from me as well. And then you will receive my self-publishing one-on-one ebook, so that if you want to start the publishing process and publish on your own, then you can do so. Now, I do have publishing packages, but this package does not include publishing. I will give you the steps to publish on your own on Amazon, but if you want to publish with me, you will definitely get a considerable discount, 20% discount off any publishing service that you purchase from me as well. But this program is just for you to write your book. We are going to birth your book in 2018, and you are going to bring in the new year with your book in hand, ready to set up your book signing. Are you ready? And now through August the 20th, I think it's August the 20th. Yes, August the 18th, you will be able to enroll in the BYOB program for just $97 down. $97 down will hold your spot. And then September 1st, you will begin paying $300 a month. That's if you need a payment plan. Now, if you don't jump on this $97 deposit, it will go up to $399 per month, which means you will be paying extra after September the 1st. It will go to $399 per month. Hey, Mathu, that's your name. How are you? So make sure you jump on this $97 down to hold your spot, and also to set your payment plan in place. And of course, if you don't need a payment plan, you can pay $9.97 up front, and you're all set, and you'll be ready to go September 1st. The week of September the 1st, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to sit down, and you're going to get a one-on-one session with me and outline your book. Because when this program starts, you are going to be on the job, on the floor, running to get your book written. We are going to write it out for 2019. So if you are ready, the link to the program is in the comments. You can click on that link and check out the program, and you can sign up, and you can go ahead and pay your $97 down. If you have any other questions, feel free to send me a message, or you can inbox me on Facebook, or you can click on the website and you can email. You can hit contact me, and it will send me an email directly to me. So I know I'm excited about this program because I really want to help some authors birth their book in 2019, because I don't want another year to go past with you still talking about, I need to write a book, and I don't have time to write, and I can't do this, and I can't do that. You can do whatever you want to do. And I am here to help you do it. And I want to help you do it. So if you are ready to work with me, if you are ready to birth your own book, then click the link that is in the comments. Click the link that is on the title of this broadcast. In Instagram, you can click the link that I put in the comments as well, or you can send me a message to my inbox, and I will send you the link as well. So that's really all that I have for tonight. Thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you for sharing. Those of you who are catching the replay, leave me your questions. If you have any questions, leave me your questions, and I'll come back and answer your questions. If not in the comments, then I'll definitely answer them on another live, because that's what I've been doing. I've been answering the questions from a lot of my clients and a lot of people who have just been having multiple questions as we go. And remember, it's a small investment. It's a small investment for you to pay to make your dreams finally come true. You've been sitting on this far too long, and you really need to get it going. You know, you need that boost. You need that push to get on your way. And I will help you do it. So again, if you are ready, click the link. If not, I will see you in 2019 because I'm going to birth my book. And I want you to birth yours as well, so we can have a big old book release, book signing party for everybody. And that would be a good idea at the end of this program, to have a virtual book release party for everybody in the program. That will be awesome. I'm going to add that to the program. So Thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you, Instagram, for joining me. I'm going to sign you guys off first. Good night. And Facebook, thank you so much for joining me. Remember, as you catch the replay, remember to be sure to share it with those in your timeline, because if it's not for you, it may be for somebody on your timeline who is watching as well. Again, thank you so much for joining me, and you all have a blessed and prosperous night. Good night.